What's up, Knuckle Busters? I guess my internet's failing on me lately, so I'm here on YouTube, trying to keep it simple. Please like and share our stuff. Follow our other, Instagram, and here we go, right there, Facebook. We have a little bit of content differences there, so apologize for the interruption earlier. All crew chief stuff. Doing some student left it here, so I just want to read it. I remember when I first got back to the United States from Japan, 2017. I'm kind of an old school guy. Came in the Air Force 2004, which is awesome because I came in on the tail end of some of the old heads, and then Air Force starts changing to some of the newer stuff, whatever. And I noticed a huge difference about 2008 to 2012. There's been a little bit of changes, and I still hold some of those old school mentalities, right? Well, in a crew chief environment, if you leave your lunch or you leave a snack there on top of a table and you didn't put it away, because those things are stay clean. You don't want to put crap on top of tables. It just looks dirty, right? Put it away, put it in the fridge. Well, I have this tendency of, like, if I see something that, especially candy, if you're gonna leave candy around, oh, I'm snatching that. You don't leave that stuff, and you're not around the vicinity, especially not even in the room, I'm gonna eat that. So I remember this guy, he left what did he leave? Oh, he left a cake, and it was gone. He comes by and he was screaming, "Who in the F ate my cake?" and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I already knew it was me. So I asked, "Are you talking about the cake that you left on the table for hours?" It's like, "Yeah, that was mine, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "Hey, it's all up for grabs. It's up for grabs. If you leave it on the table and you're not in the area, you got to put it away." "I don't care." I was like, "Those are the rules. Those are the rules. We keep this place clean, and either we throw it away, but I'm not going to throw away good cake. I had to at least try it." So that's what happens. You put it away in the fridge, your locker, or whatever, and you don't leave your mess on these tables. So he couldn't grasp it. And I mean, I could have thrown it away, but I wasn't going to let it go to waste either. So put in the comments, do you still do that? Does some of you old heads, or is that still in the rules? Just kind of curious if it is, but I thought it was hilarious. When I was younger, they used to call me the garbage disposal. And when somebody would half eat something and they were gonna, like, put it away, I was like, "Hey, you gonna eat the rest of that sandwich?" I was like, I don't know. I just ate everything. I was 20 years old, and I ate everything. I tried everything. I tried squid. There's things I don't like. There's some things that I stick to, but I thought it was hilarious though. So put in the comments if you're one of those guys that like to eat everything in their sight. Not women, you mofos. I'm talking about food. Thank you. So yeah, those are trying to get back into aviation maintenance. I'm gonna go talk to some of these Vietnam vets working on some of their old aircraft. They're not as flexible as they used to be, but these guys still move around. They're like running circles around some of these young guys. So if you're in the Tucson area, you want to get your hands dirty, working on some Cessnas. I'm pretty sure, like, it's all volunteer, but once you build that goodwill with them, I'm sure they're gonna give you some flights over to wherever you want to go. So Speaking of, I need to contact those guys. I got some fights coming up. But yeah, if you're in the Tucson area, I got some guys you can work with. Some Vietnam vets that would love to have you around and give you all their work. But it'd be great for experience. Gotta wash it down with some water. So on here, I wanted to discuss, any questions about the A&P process, any questions about. But the main topic today I wanted to discuss is the updates coming up after August 1st with the A&P testing for aviation maintenance mechanics. For the past year, better good amount of the year, FAA has been talking a good game about changing things, and they've been delaying stuff for years, and it finally is coming to real life. And now they're just steamrolling it through. So it's kind of like it's been little by little, little by little, and then just snowballs all the way down in an avalanche in a very short amount of time. So a lot of these schools are running around with their heads cut off, and it's causing drama. And some DMEs are putting some fear out there, and which I don't know. The way I reacted to it is I understand how the FAA works. There's rumors. I'm just letting things settle down. And luckily, some of the guys I talk to are the same mindset. They calm down, see what's true, what's rumor. And from what I understand, is writs are basically going to stay the same as a process, right? If you do prepware or something like that, or if you're using Dauntless, every year questions change. Some schools or some publications change their stuff every 6 months if it's necessary, but most of the time it's 6 months. But for sure, yearly they change it, and that's one of the things we got to do is stay up with the times, make sure that we can provide the best service. And we're kind of going towards digital because of those constant changes. So unfortunately, that's what we got to do. So the writtens are going to be the same, but from what I understand, and I might be wrong, if you already have some tests out there, if you've not completed your process by July 31st, you're going to have to redo everything from point zero. Okay? You need to complete your exams, get your A&P in the next couple of weeks. Because if you don't, everything's going to change. So if you're trying to retest, if you're trying to get your DME stuff going, O's and P's, all that stuff, get that in. Because there's going to be a good chance that you have to redo everything. So make sure that you accomplish all your exams. We can help you out, find your DMEs. We can help you get test centers, whatever it is. Hit us up. We can help you find those locations, right? Go to FAA, what was it? FAA.psiexams.com/FAA. I know they changed their websites a little bit, their links a little bit, but just Google that and look for where you can find locations. That's a way to do it. If you're looking for a DME, go to the FAA site, FAA DME locator, and then just select your state, select airframe and power plant. Make sure you check those boxes or whatever rating that you're trying to test for, and search. And then they'll give you the list of DMEs in your state. If you don't find that, then go to the nearest state, like say you're Wichita Falls, for example, and you can find them in Dallas or you can find them up in Oklahoma City. It's up to you. Or if I know there's some small states out in the Northeast, just go to the next nearest state, see if they have one, and you just keep doing that, right? So DMEs are all in a way different, how they want to conduct things, but they all have a minimum requirement. Some people want to be more difficult. They want to ask you way more questions, probably more than necessary. Again, they want to make sure that when they sign you off, that you are legit, and they feel comfortable signing you off to be an actual mechanic, because it's like a little fraternity. They hold that close and dear to them, and you got to make sure that you are deserving. And especially with the young guys, if you're a young guy, they're gonna test you a little more. So, but we got some DMEs, super awesome. They understand that you already say a mechanic if you're in the military. You've been doing it 3-4 years, and they understand that they're not trying to be dicks either. So uh, they are a little more flexible. Like say, they got a minimum. As long as they're not breaking those rules, anything goes, right? Now, do some there's gonna be some DMEs getting a hard on, or some FAA officials are gonna get a hard on. It's like, no, this is how it's supposed to be. Yeah, we get it, but they got rules, and they meet those rules or exceed them, then that's fine. Just have that conversation with the DME. Some people will frown upon FSDO shopping, or frown upon DME shopping, but if it's allowed, I would, there's nothing wrong with being, being told no. And especially the DMEs, I would highly recommend DME shopping. There's no rules against it. There's no rules. You can go to a DME in Las Vegas if you like the guy up there. I think his name is Shewell. I've heard mixed messages by him, but it's just whatever your flavor is, right? And there we got awesome DMEs down here in Tucson. We got George Torres, we got Dave Raymond, we have Gary Steele, and we also have Eric Snyder up in Phoenix, being helpful with us a lot. We have some DMEs out in Florida as well. There's a guy, we call him K, and he can provide some assistance with your tutoring or mentoring and stuff like that. Super awesome guy. And the DMEs out there are amazing. So if you need connections, let me know, and we can hook you up so you don't have to do everything over again. So this part here, you need to share if you know anybody that are coming up with that situation. So we're gonna be growing the awareness for that portion there. Emails, Facebook, even calling people to make sure that they don't come up to that situation. Okay. I will train with Mr. K. Mr. K from what is that place called? New Smyrna. Yeah, Mr. K is awesome. He's a great guy. He loves what to do, so he's a guy to go to out there in the East Coast. I'm trying to set something up with him as well. Let's go. What's in Florida? I'm right now doing VA's VRE, and aviation maintenance is on my list to research. I'm on CFL now, prior service aviation ordinance. Oh, okay. Aviation ordinance. Yeah, that's probably a good idea to go to a school. From what I understand, Christopher, is ordnance guys don't get the experience, unfortunately. Like not even an airframe, which kind of sucks, right? So I don't know what CFL means, but yeah, if you go to a school, like for example, 2-year school or something like that, to work in aviation maintenance, and then the VA, that's a good idea to go to. From what I understand, weapons, ordnance guys, ammo guys, I don't know if it's the same, but they don't get the authorization from the FAA. I guess they don't consider it aviation maintenance. Sorry, that's what FAA says, not me, not me. Anybody that can be out in aviation, turning wrenches and especially freaking bombs, yeah, I would consider that as aviation maintenance. I might. Oh, Central Florida. Okay. There's great schools. There's Epic. Epic Flight Academy, I think, is one of those. I'm trying to think of another school. Embry-Riddle is out in Daytona, Florida. Let's see. I mean, that's Embry-Riddle. Of course, you're gonna pay a steep price for them too. So, but it's a great. I've been to that school in person in Daytona. Beautiful school, beautiful campus, and it's definitely worth it. If you're trying to get FPN, it's cool. We are BB stackers. We didn't touch frames or power plants. Okay, bomb stackers. Okay. Yeah, true. Oh, I get you. Ordnance. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it's let's see. Oh, okay. Didn't touch frames in power plant. Okay, yeah. If you're trying to get aviation maintenance, you love that shit, then go into a 2 year. Some places even have 18 months. Something to look into when you're looking for a school. See if you can do it for 18 months. But I know Epic Flight School is out there. There's Baker's Aviation is a 2 year school. I heard great things about them out there. Let's look it up. Actually, let me pull out my handy dandy Google aviation maintenance schools in Central Florida. There's AIM, Aviation Institute of Maintenance. People have their criticism of them or not. I met some people out there; they're great. But as far as the curriculum, again, don't. I'm just saying what I've heard. People have criticism of our school too. So you're not going to be able to make everybody happy. So that's that. What I like about AIM is that they also have a lot of partnerships with other companies, and can get you in there as well. So I think that's the biggest plus is just their connections. So that's cool. Let's see. Let's see what we got. We have Aviator A&T. I'm not sure what that's about. South Avionics Training. We have International Aerotech Academy. I'm not sure which of these are. National Aviation Academy. I've heard good things about them. Let's see. They're out in Tampa. Epic Aircraft Maintenance School, Mechanic School. Let's see. That's what shows up on Google. Okay. Awesome. Oh yeah. I hope that helps Christopher with some of the questions, what you need to do. Let's go this way, guys. Sorry about that camera stuff. It likes to follow me around. I need to turn that shit off sometimes. But yeah, for what I understand, going back to the subject of what's coming after August 1st, we already discussed the writtens are going to stay the same basically. There's going to be but a lot of the things are going to, if you don't get your A&P before August 1st, all those tests don't even matter. It's going to cancel. You have to start over after August 1st. Okay. Now it comes to the orals and practicals portion. So the gist that I got is the school. It doesn't a bunch. I appreciate it. Just open some Google tabs with those schools. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I got sidetracked here, but for the orals and practicals, the questions that you're going to get is going to be a little shorter, from what I understand. I don't know how much shorter. He did tell me those details, but I don't remember. But what I do understand the gist of it, it's going to be shorter. But the questions that are going to be asked is going to be heavy on the questions that you missed on the written exams. So when you come across, let's say basic electricity is a common one for a lot of people, then you're going to probably need to study up on those questions a little more. There's great books, FAA 8083s dash, say 30 for the general books. It's free to download on the FAA website. Just Google that, and you can just learn a little more about basic electricity. So that way, if those questions come, you can explain a little more. And you really want to cover those areas here. Mark's a engineer here. He goes in depth, but it's going to be good to understand some of that gist of it. Okay, so that's regarding the questions in the orals. For understanding, it's going to be short and it's going to target the weak areas you had on your written exams, and the same thing on your practicals. Now, the difference in your practical, and if I'm wrong here, or you want to add your 2 cents, please, if you're a DME or you're an FAA official, please comment below, so that way you can probably add to this as well. That would be awesome. But for the practicals, you're going to probably hit up some of the weak areas for your written exams, and in some tasks, it's going to ask some questions as you're doing the practical. So a practical question. So it's a little more. So let's say you're doing safety wire, for example, right? It might ask, all right, safety wire this and that. Okay, what is the twist per inch? What is the tension and all this stuff? It might ask you follow-on questions. So just be prepared for that. Some guys already kind of did that already. It's not even necessary at the time, but now it's going to be a thing coming across. So there's going to be some changes. It's something we have to adapt and cover some concepts a little further in depth, and which Mark does already. But we had some students that have gone to engineering school. Oh, great! I'm going to engineering school again. I was like, okay, but I need to help out with some of the in-depth questions that could be asked and figure that out. So that's the major differeces between what the old system and the upcoming changes from the FAA. And they haven't released the oral questions if there's going to be anything different. That's been kind of rumored that there might be some changes, but typically FAA deliver these questions and to the public, but they haven't done that. So right now, the recommendation was to keep doing what you're doing, but it's just rumors. So I heard a lot of rumors coming down the pipe quite a bit, and nothing has changed. So if you haven't started your A&P before August 1st, don't start. Wait till after August 1st. So that way you get into the new system. All right. Any questions so far? Sorry, Christopher, if I couldn't answer the questions. I just opened up some Google tabs. Those schools. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a question to ask to see if they do any of them do some 18 months. I want to say Epic does. I want to say Epic Flight does some 18-month programs. There's some programs out there that does that. So that's a little backfire there. Not for me. Card freaking racing down this highway here. Let's hear your questions. Are you afraid of the new changes? Here to talk about anything about A&P, get you started. Let's see. Make sure you follow us. Thank you for the likes. Make sure that you share this information. Make sure that if you know somebody that would benefit from this, share my content and ask questions. Put in the post what questions you want me to ask, so that way I can bring them on here. Okay. Question that I got today was, how do we set up our class? What's the lectures like? Kind of depth questions, but are you going to just be thrown a book and just study? And I answered that in the previous video before we got cut off. And my response was like, dude, whether you go to Embry-Riddle for 2 years or you go to another prep school, you're going to have to study. Your nose is going to be in those books studying all the time. Now, the contents of what you're going to be studying is it might be a little different, but just like in school, and where you go, when you get ready for an exam, your nose is going to be in a book. What's different from like universities and books like us is that we're going to be there to coach you. We're going to make sure you're going to mentor you. We're going to explain things to you. Sometimes we're going to tell you like, hey, this is how I remembered formulas, how I remembered this question, and that's sometimes going that route is going to help you instead of trying to go down this rabbit hole with everything you got going on. Because if you go to a prep school, you got 2 weeks, and we're going to try to balance between knowing the concepts and what things that can help you make things stick. So some guys will say, hey, I just want to understand what works. We explain to them in depths of it, and they're like, well, what's the easy way to do this? I was like, and obviously that's not what you want. So we try to balance, right? And it's really hard to do it in real life. Sometimes we're just going to tell you to do this, but no matter what, you're going to have to you have your nose in those books studying day in, day out, repeat for the next couple of weeks. So if you're not thinking about going to a prep school and you want to know everything, then I highly recommend going to Embry-Riddle, going to one of these Part 147 schools in your local community college or something like that. So that way you can get a little more in depth with general aviation. And if you're not, you're just trying to knock this out, get in, get out, so you can go work on your multi-million-dollar aircraft, then maybe a prep school is a solution for you. It's not for everybody. I talked to our team. This is not for everybody, and we got to do a better job of vetting those people out, because we don't want to disappoint you when you come here. Like, dude, this is what it is, and we're talking to our team to ensure that we give them the expectations and make sure that we don't set them up for success or for failure. Like, hey, this is how it's run here. You're cool with that? Cool. Then you can join. Oh, it's not? Then I recommend another school. So somebody on a IG live discussed the mechanic salaries. Something to think about. I thought, that's a great question. And what I would say is it just depends, right? The credentials matter, your education matters, locations where you go matter, the company you're going to work for matters. So think about what type of work you want to do. If it's major airlines, cool, go do that. But if you're planning to just work in general aviation, just know that you're not going to get paid the best. Now, some of these guys that have IAs, they can do a good job, right? If you want to do DME stuff, man, they make a couple $1,000s a day. So I try to keep them busy, make them happy, and honestly, I just try to make everybody happy. I want everybody to win. I want everybody to, go get into those positions, because a lot of us, they look at the dollar signs and they will work there. But some of us don't look at it. They just want to enjoy what they're doing, and that's totally cool. We shouldn't judge people because of that. So some people want to get in general aviation. Cool, man. I can probably help you out with that. And some people want to do business aircraft. I think I would like business aircraft instead of the majors. I don't know. That was just my thing. And maybe some DoD contracting, working on so war fighters. That's what attracted me to the military. So everybody has their own thing. I joined the Air Force to work on F-16s because I'm originally from Fort Worth, Texas, and the plant's right there. So I saw these F-16s, and when I walked into that recruiter's office, I was like, "Hey, get me the heck out of here as fast as possible, and I want to work on airplanes." So he got me a job as a tactical aircraft maintenance personnel journeyman or something like that. And yep, gone in 5 days to San Antonio. So it depends on what your jam is, and I would highly consider what those things are, where you want to live, what type of job you want to, what kind of maintenance you want to be doing. Because there's depot maintenance, there's like I guess back shop stuff, there's uh, military type of aircraft. There's manufacturing, which doesn't require you to have A&P, but places like Boeing love to hire people with just with nothing, but they have something, right? Whether it's a credential or a degree or maybe associates, that's fine too. They pay pretty well for manufacturing. So like Lockheed, Boeing, what's another manufacturer out there that's in the United States? Yeah, those are the two main ones I can think of at the moment. Some people, there's space. You wanna go on that, be a part of that kind of mission. There's SpaceX, Virgin Galactic. They got something out in Virgin Galactic has a spaceport out in New Mexico. They pay the guys well out there, and from what I understanding, they're building another station out in Mesa, Arizona, east of Phoenix, and they're paying guys six figures to start over there. So we've had a couple of students come in, get their A&P, so when they open up jobs there, or maybe they already are, they're trying to get guys in there too. Gulfstream, you can talk to Brian Stoner. I will look him up on LinkedIn. He's some kind of senior program manager or something like that, and he's looking for military aircraft technicians, and it's a great company to work for, from what I understand. And they're looking for guys out there in Mesa because they're building up and they're going to continue to grow out there. So right now they're building more hangars, bigger hangars to store more aircraft there. So if you're interested in Gulfstream, reach out to Brian Stoner. Please let them know I sent you, so that way they know where it's coming from. Actually, he brought me some cool stuff. I don't know what I did with it, but yeah, got keychains, brochures. I've been handing them out to students, and yeah, so reach out to them. Who else? Boeing. Talked to Jennifer. She's getting to a new position. She was a chief engineer for Boeing. She's transitioning into a different position, more on the DoD side, and she'll be working between Japan and Italy. So once she gets settled in her position, get more details. I mean, shit, that's something I might be interested in. But yeah, if that's something that's your jam, let me know. If you're interested in programs out overseas, working for Boeing, there's those things out there. So try to help out as many of you guys to get into what you like to do. So that's my little rant on your mechanic salaries, because it's going to differ from the companies you work for, the type of maintenance do. It's different. So there's that jam. Let's see. Any questions? Keep pouring them on. Wherever you're working at the moment, is make sure you maintain a good. I know I've been saying this on a lot of platforms or on a lot of just about every show, but you have no idea your reputation. It will precede you. It follows you around. So make sure you maintain that good work ethic. Yeah, the guys who you lean on to do everything, but guess what? It's gonna pay off. It might not be 6 months or 12 months, but it'll follow you. And once you have that reputation that you have great work ethic. Like I remember when I left Davis Mountain for the first time to Ulsan, I did get some bad feedback and stuff like that, but I was able to regain my reputation because one of the things I sucked was paperwork, and I still sucked at it. So what happened was I was in the office a long time because I'm trying to fix paperwork, and a lot of people didn't think that I was trying to come out of the office because I didn't want to do no work. Well, I was trying to figure out this paperwork and I couldn't. Like, I was really focused on trying to get all my dots, pointed and cross all my T's. And being a very detail oriented person, something I wanted to try to do, trying to go out of my comfort zone for that. But once they pulled me out of that office because I sucked so bad, which given, tried, they pulled me out to maintenance to do both, still maintain this job and do maintenance, which I think ended up working out. So I was able to regain my work ethic there because it was bruised during my time there in Osan in the 18. So I apologize for that, but they knew afterwards. Once I got out, they saw that I can turn a wrench. So make sure, and you'll be surprised how far you can go when you have work ethic, because you're not going to be treated the same as a POS. If you're a POS, you're not getting treated as the same as, that's a reality, guys. Even some of my mentors that as I have a business, you can't treat your stars, your go-getters, as the ones that are not putting in the work. Because if they do, they're going to go somewhere else who appreciates their hard work. Now, that's kind of going against the roughing the feathers a little bit. Oh, we should all treat each other the same. Nope. So I'll give you an example. As I regained my reputation in that office, is I was always the last person from Monday through Thursday. I was a single guy. So I wanted Fridays off. And once I proved myself, they allowed me to take Fridays off. I still show up to work, and if there was extra work that needed to be done, like, I'll help all my guys out. But if there wasn't, and what's that rule everybody says? And if you're getting cut back, don't ask questions. You freaking run out of that building, right? So don't ask questions, just leave, because if you're sticking around and stuff like that, they're gonna pull you back in. But I made sure I stayed 12s 4 days out of the week, and I was always that guy to stay back, and that was a contract I made. Why? Because I earned it. Now you're trying to earn, you gotta earn those privileges. You can't just sit back and expect things to come to you. No, you gotta earn it. You gotta earn people's trust. You gotta earn people's, I guess, trust. Yeah, I was gonna go something with that, but you got to earn their trust and believe in you that you can accomplish the work done. And once you do, you get special privileges, unfortunately, because if you're doing things that nobody else is doing, you're volunteering for things that nobody else is doing, you're accomplishing your work a lot faster than everybody else. Does it suck to hold all that weight? Probably, but in the long run, and because in this small world, people are going to come to you for problems, and it's the same thing in business. If you want to get paid more, fix the bigger problems. And when you start fixing bigger problems, even if it's paperwork that your management doesn't want to deal with, you take care of that for them. They're going to look to you for that, yes, but they're going to think of you as a more well-rounded person and a go-getter, and that's going to get you far. That's been my experience in the military. That's been my experience everywhere I go. And I'll give you an example now that I'm trying to do. Reach out to a senator here in Arizona and asking them, how can I help you? Where can I volunteer? And they were opened up. You got to give, got to give. And I want to understand the more in the details of this veteran outreach claims and stuff like that, and understand how the VA can provide access to veterans for prep schools. But I don't just go into, hey, I want this, I want this. So many people are so accustomed of taking and taking, and they never give. You got to give, got to keep giving, got to keep giving. So and you got to give without expectation, right? It's just it's just a phenomenon that happens is that they tend to reciprocate. When somebody's doing good for me without even asking, I'm gonna reward them, especially where I can and when I can, right? So that's just me, and I've dealt with very tough individuals. That's just their personality. You know, uh, some people would say people from New York are very tough to deal with, and I've learned that, and I don't take it personal, and it's helped me kind of mentally how to approach them, and even some of my responses, because I can react the same way, and they actually give me respect, which is kind of weird. But of course, you don't want to cross the line. You still got to be professional. So be professional, but you can also stand up for yourself, and maybe that's what they like. It's what they're used to from where they're from. So you got to be good at reading people. Something that I'm learning quite a bit. Uh, I don't see any questions coming in. So for the two people that are on here, thank you for supporting this channel. Really love it. And I like to give that advice from the business side, my experience while I was in. But if you really want to help out your organization, you got to pretend as like you own that place. You are the CEO of your unit, your squadron, whatever it is. Make sure the trash is taken out without being asked to do it. Going to the flight chiefs, hey, is there anything to do? Paperwork that needs to be done, documents, all these things to let off the load of your supervisor. This is not brown nosing. This is you helping out the unit. So that's what my recommendation would be: is take care of the facility around you. Take care of your jet. Some people get on to me because I was cleaning an A-10, and I was like, dude, it's gonna get dirty after it flies because of the gun and stuff like that. So, but once you do it, you can maintain it, and as you're inspecting, that's part of. To me, it's inspecting. So that's just my 2 cents on that subject. I know that might ruffle the feathers of some people, but I already understand. I already understand who's gonna it's gonna hurt some people, because they're the ones that are not doing the things. But the go-getters, they understand. They will like it, and just keep doing what you're doing, and you do it in volumes. You be consistent. And I always thought that I wasn't being consistent, but as I look back, it was just the habits that I built, and I try to do things faster, with in a timely manner. Now, when I first started, the best thing I can do is holding the light or providing tools to, because maybe they're working on top of the jet, be that guy that go up and down. But of course, I try to learn, look overhead the shoulders, even trying to, like, hey man, get out of the way, let me do this work. People like the effort. People like the effort. And if you have those type of 7 levels, that's awesome. And I one of the things I loved about the old school 7 levels was that they didn't try to do it for me. They were like, they just let me suffer. But in that suffering, I learned how to do it my way, do it the way that I was able to turn a wrench or put it in an angle where I can reach it. Learn the certain sizes. Maybe a 1/4 inch ratchet will help compared to a 3/8 that I've seen everybody else try to do. Those little things. It's just like, in boxing when you're sparring, you find a good angle. Like today, for example, in my gym, that barbell sitting, you find a great position. Obviously, you don't want the bar up here because that's going to hurt your wrist. But you learn that what feels good on that, and it maintains that over time for the long term, right? It's the same thing when you're wrenching. If you're a brand new 7 level and you're just trying to get done, I get it. but you're taking away a learning opportunity to let them suffer a little bit, because in that suffering, they're gonna learn. And a lot of times I get told I'm a dickhead when I was a 7 level that I didn't jump in. I was like, this is the best part. This is actually the best part where you're gonna learn how to turn a wrench or a safety wire or whatever it is. Oh, I can't get this, dude. You will get it. It's just, especially when you're tired and your arms are like weak, but somehow you muster how to like get that heat blanket to get closer and safety. Man, especially when you're trying to get shit done. So those are learning opportunities that was given to me that they didn't step in. They didn't step in to do it for me. They let me, and I think what contributed to learning, helping me turn a wrench. So, and they let me get in there even though I was brand new. I was a little bit mechanically inclined going in because I love working on cars, and so I did some of that stuff. So, but it's still a totally different world getting into, turning apart an F-16. So, and especially there's instructions, which, when you're working on your car, you're just trying to figure shit out, and you do way worse things than you do good. So, there's no questions. That's just my 2 cents. And stay safe. It's freaking hot as F out there. I'm not trying to curse because, let's see, what's the temperature right now? 108 and 108 here in Tucson, Arizona. So be safe. Put that tanning stuff on there, sunblock, whatever it is. What I did, I always rolled around with my sleeves down, to protect myself. What else? Drink lots of water, tons of water, especially out here. So I'm sure there's black fag and stuff like that, but while you're out there, don't be that person that passes out. That shit's serious, man. So that's all I have for tonight. I'll be here back tomorrow, about 5 o'clock, and to wrap this up. And maybe 5 o'clock, wait. Let's do 7. I'll be in El Paso, so I might be in my hotel room to do this. Maybe crack open, might get a little bit of a little bottle somewhere. Yeah, and we can BS around and hear some stories from you guys. Let's switch this on you guys. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow night, and let's meet up around about 7:30 Mountain Time, because I'll be in El Paso. I think they're a little different. Yeah, so stay safe and talk soon.